Hey guys, Elite Legionarii here, bringing you a 1 versus 1 for Rome Total War. This time I'll be commanding the forces of Scythia, and my opponent Samm will be in command of Germania, so a barbarians battle basically on a desert map, very uncommon but nonetheless some fun. So I got a reasonably traditional sort of Scythian style army. I have 6 units of gold and experienced archer warband. I have 2 units of standard, I think they're gold, Scythian horse archers. I've got 4 units of gold, and I think it's either 1 or 2 experience. I think it's 2 experience apiece. Headhunting maidens, so they're pretty deadly. And I've got 3 heavily upgraded axemen. I don't very much expect they'll be of much use. I basically just intend to use them to stall while he goes after my archers. I don't expect them to actually do anything really effective, just to give me time basically is all I'm aiming there. They're not a very powerful unit, but they can be useful if you're just for stalling and things. So my opponent's brought a couple archer warband, and they've got some upgrades on. They are expensive though, so I wouldn't put a whole lot of time into them, in all honesty. I just wouldn't. It's not a practical thing. So here he brings in a charge from a couple, I think they're gold Gothic Cav, and I catch them out here, and one of them is General, and I was hoping to kill him real quick, but he does manage to pull out of that, and he's using this as a distraction to go after my other horse archer. That's good thinking, but I am not unaware of this. I think he's got 5 units of Gothic Cav. Some of them are gold, some of them are just non-upgraded. He's also got obviously those 2 archers. He's got several Knight Raiders, couple of, forgot their names, Spear Warband, that's it, and a few Chosen Axemen and a couple of Berserkers, which were a little bit of a concern if I wasn't careful. But Scythia is an excellent skirmish faction. It's not a faction I particularly like, nor am I particularly good at, but I will definitely use it. It is a good faction if you do it right, but it's not a faction I especially like. So his forces look to be some pretty heavily upgraded axemen of Chosen Axemen. There's about 4 of those gold. German archers are excellent, Chosen Archer Warband, but they're very expensive, so they've not got a very good missile capacity. So here he's going to charge in, and I'm going to catch him out with my headhunting maidens, which will just tear into these guys without too much difficulty at all. As you can see, I very quickly rout his cavalry. You don't want to face headhunting maidens outright like this, and now I'm just going to squish the rest of his men and his general, so that's good. You don't want to face headhunting maidens in this capacity, it's no good. So now, as you can see, my actual axemen doing an alright job of stalling him, and I'm just withdrawing them back. I'm basically just pulling back, and I'm just going to skirmish with him and thin him out. I'm getting my horse archers and headhunters behind his line, and I'm going to run down at whatever missile units he's got left. And I'm just sort of spreading myself. I'm not trying to spread myself into such a way that I can't control him. I'm just sort of dividing his attention with multiple things at once, but not so much that I'm getting myself too spread out that I can't control myself. So here's getting a lot of units bogged down. Here's his Berserkers in, and this is good at this point because I'll just use my Axemen to stall him here, and this will allow me to pound more missile fire straight into him, and I've dominated in other areas of the battlefield. And my archers, here my headhunters come in to deal with this. Obviously my Axemen are just going to be absolutely ripped to shreds by this German infantry, but it allows me to destroy him over here, and I've gotten archer units round to flanking positions and things. Unfortunately though, my men don't last as long as I would have liked, and one of my headhunting, no, that's my horse archers things, they might have got caught, which is unfortunate. But he's as you can see, he's very spread out now though, and my archers will have a field day with this. His Berserkers do catch me here. I must have not had skirmish mode on. That was not the greatest. That's fine because they'll come back no doubt, and his Berserkers were getting pretty shot up by missile fire, and he will lose them, quite a few of them anyway. So it doesn't look the greatest to me. Again, I'm not the best with Scythia in the skirmishing type fight, I suppose, but I didn't bring a heap of headhunting maidens. I think they're extremely annoying unit in all honesty. They're very unrealistic and so extremely powerful, but that's not to say they're not extremely good. So here I stall a bit more for some more flank shots. And here I did a charge on these berserkers. I just want to get in quickly, knock them out and get out again, basically. So I'm not so foolish as to stay in a fight with berserkers too long like that. So here I managed to quickly come in here and charge it and kill that unit of berserkers. Now I'm going to attempt to do the same with this other unit of berserkers. So over here my horse archers appear to have skirmished into his line, so that wasn't the greatest. But I am actually looking quite bad, but it does start to come up because I'm trying to spread them out basically and stall them and trying to survive. So I make a quick charge on these berserkers while their backs are turned, but again it would be foolish to stay in the fight with them for too long. But I very quickly ripped them to pieces, so that's good. Now that they're out of the way, I'm pretty confident I can actually destroy him, more or less destroy him anyway. And I do manage to kill his general there. And no doubt, guys, you're noticing this isn't the best performance of Scythia. It is not a faction that I excel at by any stretch. I'm not the best skirmisher for full stop, but I do my best. So now he's using his chosen axeman. Now what I'm wanting to do is just chase my cav a bit so that I can open up flank fire. Chosen axemen are very powerful on the charge but very little armour, so they fall to missile fire quite exceptionally well. So I finally get my chance to run down his own archers. I want them out of the picture. But as you can see now, I'm really well set up to just handle them now. I can just shoot them to bits with my archers. And here's some regrouped horse archers that's useful. So any missile units are useful. As you can see, these men are getting quite thoroughly thinned out. I mean, a nice trail of dead axemen there. So I mean, I base my force around kind of like stalling and skirmishing. But again, I'm not the best at skirmishing. So it probably didn't look as glamorous as some other people do. I admit that much. It's not, again, Scythia is not a faction I make a lot of use of, but I will use it, of course. Here's Axeman here, and I want to try a quick charge in, see if I can get a few armor piercing hits and knockout. But fortunately I cause a big rout, so I can actually kill them, so that's very useful. So Headhunting Maidens are an extremely OP unit in my opinion, but nonetheless I'll make use of them. I much prefer the Scythian nobles, even though they're not as good. They're just more realistic and much cooler, and the charge is really cool as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just ignore this and shoot the flanks. As you can see, he's still got these pretty much full units spear warband, but they are taking hits from my regrouped archers. So my goal was to keep my archers alive, or keep them for the most part at least a chance to regroup if they got caught. And as you can see, his men have become exhausted and they're getting shot in the flanks and everything. So this is the thing with Scythia. If you run out of the capacity to stop their missiles, then you're pretty much doomed if they've got any real numbers left. So I managed to get rid of his chosen axeman, which is good. And I've still got plenty of skirmishing capacity now. As you can see, I'm just encircling him. But I have to keep an eye on these axemen. I think he might have even had 5 of them. I couldn't really tell in his formation. He's very wisely gone to loose formation. That is a good move, because it'll mean that he might take less casualties. What I would do if I were him, I'd probably just deploy myself in loose formation in an area and not spread myself out like this, because his units become isolated and they are destroyable by my Headhunting Maidens if they become isolated like this. As I still have a good number of Headhunting Maidens at my disposal to inflict some harm on them. And these are, even though these are phalanxes, they are not good phalanxes by any stretch, and they don't have any upgrades either, so they will not be difficult for me to destroy. So I'm just coming back this way with my other units, and I'm just going to surround him and destroy him to the best of my ability. If you can deal with the Headhunting Maidens with Scythia, you can and still have at least a couple of cav units surviving. It's quite hard to do that, but if you can do that, you shouldn't have too much difficulty with Scythia by any stretch. Some people are excellent with Scythia, but again, it's a faction I very rarely make use of. So I am certainly not someone who's good with it. I much prefer that. I think skirmishing is an excellent and effective way of fighting. but it's not a way I like to fight myself. I prefer the more traditional, either legions or phalanx approaches with cavalry support and blah blah blah. That kind of thing. I think it's cooler, but that does not mean that I don't think that the skirmishing ability is is super effective as well if you do it right. I believe it requires probably more micro. So if you like skirmishing, you might want to brush up on your micro if you're not the best at it. I go in bouts with micro, I guess. Sometimes I do excellent, well, I wouldn't say excellent, but I do quite decent micro, at least by what I would consider decent, and then other times I have shoddy micro. It just depends on how much I'm playing. I don't know, sometimes just the way it is. As of it is now, I actually haven't played Rome for about a week, or maybe even a week and a half, so if I got on now for a live Rome battle, it would be rusty, I would say. I know it's only a week, but seriously, I just get rusty if I don't play within each few days. I've been playing some other games though, like Civ 3 and stuff like that, and just some other ones, bits and pieces that I've just been in the mood for. So here I was looking to opportunity to try and charge these, but I don't want to risk losing too many headhunting maidens because he's still got a good number of chosen axemen, which is the bigger concern. So I've done a really good job of thinning out his spear warband, and as you can see, what he should be doing is just going into loose formation, and when he had those numbers, and just clustering his not clustering his units, trying to spread them out, keep them thin, but together, so that I might eventually run myself out of arrows. And I was coming down really close. I was very nearly running out of arrows in this fight, so it was still up in the air. But I didn't actually get any of the chosen archer warband. I just went with the standard. I think so I could get more into my headhunting maidens, and I think that paid off because my headhunting maidens are still on the field, and they were very effective in getting rid of his cav very quickly, as he did have more cavalry units than me. But again, headhunting maidens will destroy more or less any cav in this game. So I'm going after his chosen axemen. They are the biggest threat, as they also have the armor piercing trait, so they can be quite deadly. But my archers are well able to thin them out, so it's looking pretty good for me now, even though it looked a wee bit bleak earlier because we got a bit spread out. But I'm just trying to destroy his cavalry and just avoid any of his other units. So here I was tempted to make a charge from multiple angles, but it doesn't turn out quite the way I was wanting it to here, and I get caught. This is not good. This is a bit of shoddy micro, if you ask me. As you can see, his chosen axemen are winning this fight, even though they're getting shot in the flank. It wasn't the best use of micro there, and of course it cost me my general, so that was a bit of a mistake, and I do so that was not good. I lost a few men there, and at this point I was thinking, it could go against me now, because I think I was starting to run out of arrows. As you can see, I'm charging archers in here because they ran out of arrows, but of course they're exhausted, so they're probably going to die pretty quickly. I was tempted to charge in the back there with my horse archers, but I was too slow on that. I probably should have done it, and I probably wouldn't have lost that many headhunters, but it's alright. I still have some headhunters left, but that was a bit of shoddy work there when I lost my general. So here I charge in here, but again this is a bit shoddy on my part because it isn't supporting properly with my other units. I'm doing it too quickly, so my micro does slip up if I don't play enough, but I should be pretty alright now though, because my archers still have some arrows left, which is good, and his chosen axemen are now dead. So a couple of little mistakes here at the end. Now the reason that's probably because I thought, right, I'm pretty confident I'm going to win now, and I slackened up a bit. That does happen too. I do make that mistake. I shouldn't, but sometimes you do. You feel like you're going to win, and you kind of loosen up. Yeah, kind of. If you guys probably know what I mean. So I'm just going to finish off the rest of these guys, and they just rout. So that puts paid to my German opponent. A very good game to Samm though. It was a really close game, and as you can see, the numbers were not overly different. He only had 140, 50 more men than me. Not a lot. So I had 526 and he had 674. I had 642 kills and 178 men left, and he had 397 and 27 left. So headhunting maiden 75, 64. Only had 4 of them, 44 there. Horse archers 50 for this one. This one got a bit caught out, but this goes to the foot archers for the most part. 89, 49, 77, 86. Axemen did a good job. They did exactly what I said they would at the start. They were stalling. But I probably didn't capitalise as quickly as I should have there, to be honest. But it all worked out pretty good. But it says clear victory, but I would call it more of a Pyrrhic victory for certain, because I barely survived that fight. But a good game to Samm. He was a good sport about it, and we were quite, like, who was going to win there at the end, because we were both so close. So great game to him, and thanks to playing, man. I did enjoy, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, like I said, I'm not a very I don't dislike Scythia, but it's not like an up there faction for me. Plus, I'm not very good with them, so yeah. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon next time.